This is a winner. A big time winner. Oh, it's so good. I love it. It's my new favorite thing.
What makes your garden grow? Water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow? Knowing that she'll be mine.
Hello friends, new and old, welcome to Freedom Homestead. My name is Tangie, and today's video is part of a collaboration on fermenting, started by my good friend Anna at Fermented Homestead. I was really excited when she asked me to be a part of this collaboration because I actually had a recipe that I was waiting to try, and I thought I would bring you guys along for the journey. My family really loves Tex-Mex food. I was introduced to a dish called Curtido by my good friend Luke over at In My Gardener. We were over at his house for a cookout and he had me make it. It was a fresh Curtido made with lime juice, salt, and cabbage. But Curtido is also a fermented food. And so when I saw this recipe, I knew I had to make it because we really do enjoy it. And it is awesome on tacos, on nachos, on burritos, fajitas, all of that stuff. It's just really, really delicious. It just adds a crunch and a tang to your dish, and it's awesome. So anyway, we are going to get started making it. Let me first show you what you need to make this recipe. Okay, so if you are new to our channel, just to let you know, we are in the process of updating our kitchen. I've popped off the tiles on the backsplash, and we haven't gotten to fixing that yet. But anyway, so that's why it looks the way it does. But that's not why we're here. We are here about fermenting. So let me show you what we're going to be using in this recipe. Now for this recipe, which makes 2 quarts, you're going to need 2 pounds of cabbage. You will need 2 regular sized carrots. I have a pretty big carrot, so I'm just going to use this one. You need 2 jalapenos, but this is a big one, so I'm just going to use this one, and we're going to seed it and dice it. You will need some kosher salt. I am using pickling salt. A non-iodized salt is what you're looking for, some kind of kosher salt. And you also need a small onion, and again, this one's a pretty good size, so I'm probably just going to use about half of it. A couple of other things you're going to need is a large bowl. You want it big enough that you can stir things around and not, splash it out all over the place. You're going to need a shredder for your carrots, some good sharp knives, a peeler for the carrot. You're going to need a teaspoon, a cutting board, 2 clean quart-size mason jars. You're gonna need a wooden spoon, or this is a tamper, and this is for pounding the ferment down into the jar. If you don't have this, a wooden spoon will work just fine. I'm also going to be using a glove because jalapeno. Today I am going to be using pickle pebbles, and I will explain this more when we get to that point, but these are super duper handy to have when you are fermenting. It holds the contents of your ferment down in the brine, and we will talk more about that a little later. So now that you know the ingredients, let's start. I'm going to start by peeling these outer leaves, and I am saving these for my chickens. And I'm going to give this a good rinse. All right, you want to cut your cabbage into basically shreds. I'll show you how I do mine. I just slice it really thin. I'm cutting this in half so the shreds will be a little bit more manageable. For the carrots, I just peeled them and then shredded them. As I mentioned, for the jalapeno, I just cut the top off. I cut out the veins and de-seeded it and then diced it. The recipe called for a small onion and I just had the large one, so I decided to use half of it. I took the top and bottom off, took the peeling off, cut it in half, and then diced. Now it's time to salt. And it's important to use enough salt that you prevent mold growth, but I did taste this and wanted to use a little bit more just for flavor. So that's 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. All right, so we are gonna let this hang out with the salt for about 30 minutes. We're gonna let the salt pull out the moisture from all of that yummy goodness, and then we're gonna beat the snot out of it when we get back. I do wanna share this with you in case some of my fermenting friends don't during this collaboration, but one of the cool things about fermenting is it is the only form of food preservation that actually increases the nutrition value of the food. So that is just another awesome reason to try fermenting. And anyway, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. So while this is starting to get the moisture pulled out and everything, I'm gonna give the scraps to my chickens. And in case you were wondering, yes, you can give jalapeno scraps to your chickens. It's actually good for their digestion and it acts as a natural dewormer. So just thought I'd throw that gold nugget of info out there in case you didn't know. Now I am pounding away at the Curtido, and the reason for this is because I am trying to break down the fibers and help render as much of the water out of the vegetables as I can, because this is going to be part of the brine that it ferments in. Okay friends, I've been whacking on this thing for quite a while and it's getting beautiful and broken down. I'm also snacking on it because it tastes so good. It also smells amazing. But one thing that I've noticed is this is not rendering out a whole lot of its own juice, and that is perfectly normal. Generally what will cause that is, it just depends on how fresh your cabbage is. I bought mine from the store and it's been sitting in my fridge for about a week. And so I don't know how old the cabbage was when I got it from the store, but you know, if you were to grow your own cabbage, you'll know exactly how, how fresh it is. So in this case, all we have to do is make our own saltwater brine, and it's super simple. All I'm gonna do is heat up a cup of water, and I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of kosher salt in it and dissolve it, and then we will just use that to top it off in the jar. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll start putting this in the jar. Now we are going to start filling our jars. So I've got my lids, I got my jars, and I've got my weights. If you don't have a weight, you could reserve a couple of cabbage leaves and push it down over top, because you want to make sure that the solids stay submerged under the brine, and this will prevent mold from growing. It also prevents discoloration of the food. So that is what is beautiful about these. I will link these down below. They're a great investment, especially if this is something that you do on a regular basis. Okay, so we are going to fill up the jars to the shoulders, okay? And then I'll show you what we do from there. Part of the art of fermentation is providing an environment for the food where as the food breaks down, the CO2 gases can be released, but no new air is introduced into the food. New air that is introduced into the food is where bacteria can start to grow, mold can start to grow. It really is a beautiful process. So here I'm just topping the ferment off with the brine that I made. I let that water cool completely, and I'm just topping it off. The lids that I'm using are just plastic mason jar lids that you can get at Walmart. You get like a pack of 12 for about $3. And I'm just cranking it on there pretty good. And then I will come back and burp it daily until the ferment is ready. All right, so I just added more brine. I hope that works. I usually have enough to fill to the top, so just drop that down in there to keep everything submerged. And we will put this on. All right, so I'm tightening that pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a dark place to I'm gonna put these in a dark place to start fermenting, and when I'm ready to burp it, I will show you what it looks like. All right, friends, it is the next day. It's been about 24 hours, so I'm gonna try to burp these. All right, guys, it is day 3, and I'm getting ready to burp these. The paper towel is wet, which is a good sign. It means that there's activity happening, but this definitely needs to be burped. I see some bubble action. Okay. Ooh, this one especially. Awesome. Very good. All right, so I'm gonna push this back and cover it back up. Okay, so I've got it covered and pushed back, and tomorrow we are going to taste it and see if it's ready. Okay guys, it is day 3, and I am going to burp these, but I also want to taste them and see if they're ready. So this is what this one looks like. This one has been really like releasing a lot of liquid, and it looks really good. Here's the one that I didn't get as full. It also looks good. So I'm gonna give these a taste. Ooh. You can see it's got some bubbles at the top. Awesome. That's a beautiful sign. Okay. Let's see if I can get this pebble out without making a huge mess. Pickle pebble out. Smells really good. It also has a little bit of that fizzy action. This is a winner, a big time winner. Oh, it's so good. I love it. It's my new favorite thing. I knew I was gonna like it when I was in the process of preparing it. I couldn't stop snacking it off of it. Yay! I probably could have gone ahead and used both jalapenos. There's like no, I don't pick up any heat whatsoever. This is incredible. I am so excited about this. Okay, so this jar is gonna go in this refrigerator here. My other one I will put downstairs to save for another time. This is so good. I really, really hope that you give this a try. Definitely taste it on the 3rd day, but you can let it go as long as you want it to. But I think my family, well, I think Jack will really like this. My kids, not so much. They're not big Cabbage fans. But this is fantastic, and I am definitely gonna make this a lot. I got the recipe from this book called Pickle Pantry by Andrea Chessman, and this is fantastic. This has a lot of different canning recipes as well as a lot of fermentation recipes. I am in no way associated with the author, the publisher, anybody. I just really love this cookbook. So I will leave a link to this down in the description box below if you're interested. Don't forget to check out the other videos if you are interested in fermenting, want to know how, want some good recipes. And also don't forget to comment on all the videos to increase your chances of winning the giveaway at the end of the month. Anna is giving away 2 fermentation mason top kits, one for a wide mouth mason jar and the other one for regular mouth mason jars. So to make sure that you have a good chance of winning, make sure you follow this collab, comment on every single video, and then stay tuned for the end of the month when she selects the winners. And that is all I've got for you guys for this video. Until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. And we'll catch you in the next one. God bless you guys, and see ya.